She lay curled beneath a collapsed billboard, rainwater creeping up her worn shoes. Most people passed without looking. But that night, a black car slowed. The back door opened. Out stepped Mr. Carlyle, the billionaire whose marble floor she scrubbed each morning. Their eyes met. His brows furrowed, lips parted, but no words came. Why was his maid sleeping in the street? What he did next shattered every assumption about power, privilege, and humanity. This isn't just a story, it's a revelation. Welcome. Story lovers, comment the name of your city if you're watching. Every morning, Rosa stepped out of the rundown shelter before dawn, wrapping her threadbare shawl tighter as the city yawned awake. She cleaned luxury homes she'd never afford to live in, but she did it with pride. One house stood out, the mansion of Mr. Carlyle, a billionaire who barely glanced her way. Rosa worked quietly, leaving before the family's breakfast was served. To him, she was invisible. But her presence was flawless. Floors gleamed, windows sparkled, and silence was always maintained. No one knew she slept on benches when the shelter was full. No one noticed her swollen feet or sunken cheeks. She carried her dignity like armor, never begging, never complaining. But one rainy evening, while curled beneath a cardboard flap near the corner of 8th Street, headlights stopped. A door opened, and from that moment, her life and his would never be the same. It started with a glance. Mr. Carlyle stepped out of the car, his eyes narrowing as he recognized her face beneath the drenched hoodie his maid rose on the street. Like a vagrant. For a moment, he hesitated. Then he turned and got back in. The car drove off. The next morning, Rosa arrived at work as usual. She had dried herself in the shelter's bathroom, smoothed her uniform, and stepped back into invisibility. But this time, something had changed. Carlyle watched her from his study window, arms crossed. That afternoon, he asked his assistant for Rosa's file. No address, no emergency contact. Just a bank account that hadn't seen a deposit in 2 weeks. Carlyle's finance system had overlooked her PE due to a technical glitch. That night, he followed her quietly, discreetly. When she took her usual path and turned toward the shelter, he kept watching. But when she walked past the shelterful again, settled into her alley corner, something in him broke. He returned to his mansion, poured a drink, but couldn't sleep. Guilt twisted in his chest. The next morning, Rosa was missing. She hadn't come to work. Carlyle called hospitals and shelters. No trace. Then a news alert popped up. A black woman had collapsed on the sidewalk from exhaustion near Central Avenue. The photo was blurry, but he knew it was Rosa. Carlyle rushed to the ER, coat-soaked, heart racing. When he found her, Rosa was unconscious, for tubes feeding her dehydrated frame. A nurse asked family. He nodded, yes. And for the first time in his life, he felt the weight off Salance. Of all the times he hadn't seen her, he stayed by her side for hours, eyes locked on the frail woman who had kept his home immaculate while sleeping in shadows. When she woke, her eyes widened, in confusion. He said nothing, just slid over a check with 6 digits and whispered, "You'll never sleep on the street again." Dear audience, if you're enjoying this story, don't forget to give it a like. It really helps. Rosa recovered, not just physically, but with dignity restored. Carlyle didn't just pay her back wages. He gave her a home, a job, and his foundation. And most importantly, a voice. She now led a program for domestic workers' rights across the city. Carlyle changed too. He realized how easy it was to look without seeing, to pay without caring, to live in luxury while others suffer in silence. And it all started because he looked out a car window. One rainy night. This isn't just about Rosa. It's about the people. We walk past every day, those who clean our homes, raise our kids, and cook our food. How many Rosas are out there? Unseen. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.